Brought to you by AMSOIL. A new generation is rising, an inevitable force, primed to lay claim to what is theirs. This is Young Guns. Sitting on the quiet banks of the Mississippi River, the waning sun shines down on the final days of summer. Vibrant green leaves flutter upon branches, clinging to the last glimpses of warm weather before the oncoming seasonal shift. Preparations are slowly underway to face the yearly transition to winter's chill. But for the battle-hardened warriors of TORC, there is still unfinished business to settle in the woods of Minnesota. The devastating early summer monsoon at ERX during the second race weekend of the year is far in the rearview mirror. The damaged track and facility have been repaired and are in pristine shape for 3 rounds of high-flying, door-slamming contention. An additional day of racing to make up for the lost round of action means that enough championship points are available for any of the current class leaders to be overtaken. The optimal scenario for every team is to win out, but reality tells them to account for every possible situation.
I can say honestly all year I haven't been thinking about points at all, even coming into this weekend. We know we're close, we're in the running, we know Keegan's there, we know my dad's there, and we're going to treat this race like it's the first race of the year. You're not going to win it on Friday, you're not going to win the championship, but you can sure lose it on Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday.
With 3 rounds, so much can change. You got to go into every race trying to win it. You know, I need 2 points back right away, and you know, so many people think that, you know, CJ and I have this program or this secret scenario we're working out, but honestly, the only one who wants it worse than him is me.
Everybody's like, oh, you don't have to take chances, you know, you can be conservative, but like at the same time, I'm still gonna go out there, I'm gonna still try to win. I feel pretty confident in my own driving and my ability. You know, I'm not gonna go crazy and take myself out of the race or something like that, but I'm still gonna go for it. I'm not gonna lay back and let these guys battle out front alone.
The mental game is particularly critical for the leaders, knowing when to take risks and when to back it down and protect. For those who seek to disrupt the apple cart, the only certainty is that there can be no holding back. Kyle Kleiman's continued domination of the pro light field at Crandon is equally impressive and disheartening for the remaining championship contenders. Despite a surge in speed and consistency for Cam Reimers, the points gap has continued to widen, and it will require a catastrophic weekend for the number 42 to give him a chance at taking home the points trophy. However, the long odds are no deterrent for the Reimers team, knowing that luck can strike anyone at any time.
We need a couple gifts to come our way, and that's for sure with Kyle Kleiman. We're within striking distance mathematically. We definitely have to win this weekend to try to win the championship, and he's got to have some issues. But you know, we gave him a couple gifts at the beginning of the season, so maybe we'll get a little lucky here at the end. But hey, we got our heads down, and anything's possible. It's a lot of racing this weekend.
At this point in the season, even the cleanest drivers tend to get a little rough around the edges. The already wild and tumultuous clashes on the racetrack are about to become unglued.
All right, 13 laps, bud. Let's go do this. Let's get this thing out front and get in some clean air, and let's set sail, bud. You can do it.
Sean Morris, he's right there in the 27. He's won here before. Look for him. He'll be on pole on the right side as they head into that first turn next to Cam Reimers, who's been fast here this weekend in practice.
You ready? Ready? Go, 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 go.
From the wave of the green flag, every truck pushes hard to get to the front. The field stays tightly bunched, but Cam Reimers is shuffled from second to sixth in the opening lap and a half.
We got a truck for the last half. Let's get this thing going back forward.
Andrew Carlson is aggressive as usual. He makes a clean pass on Chad Rayford and takes aim on leader Sean Morris, dive bombing through the rhythm section and cutting directly in front of him. The questionable move pushes Morris into the cushion, dropping him back to fourth while Carlson takes the lead. Kyle Kleiman is calm and cool as always. He has been patient, keeping himself clean and capitalizing on each opening that arises as the rest of the pro lights ping-pong off one another. proving his sixth-place starting position irrelevant. Kyle sits in third with his brother just ahead.
All right, let's go get that 48 truck.
Carlson's previous race at ERX this year did not go as planned, with 2 heavy rollovers. Unfortunately, his luck has not changed at his home track.
And on his lid, a place that he was familiar with it the last time at ERX, and back on all fours. Can he fire it up?
Dropping back down on 4 wheels is fortunate for Andrew, but he falls from first to last in a matter of seconds. The usually quick Reimers has been unable to make up any ground on the lead pack. At this point, it is clear that something is amiss.
Get the water out, you're spraying the radiator. He's coming in, guys, he's coming to you. Get the water down that thing right in the radiator, right through the screens.
The overheating number 21 truck is in dire straits. Cam cannot afford to concede any points to Kyle Kleiman, let alone suffer a DNF. To make things worse, Kyle makes a clean pass on his brother Cody to take the race lead on the final turn before the caution lap.
Go, go, go. They're getting to the rollers. They're at the rollers right now.
Reimers rushes out of the hot pit to ensure he stays on the lead lap, but his problem has not been resolved.
Coming back in. He's coming back in. Bury this thing in the radiator. Just bury it. All you can get.
The distress in his voice gives a sense that Cam knows his chances at a title are slipping away. He makes it out of the hot pit, but as the race restarts, it is clear he cannot keep a competitive pace without risking his engine.
Just stay on the lead lap and let the rest of it come to you, I guess. Whatever attrition's all we can do. Kyle's out front. He's leading the thing, so he's going to gain on us big time.
Kyle in the lead is trouble for every other racer on the track. Just as he starts to stretch his legs, a caution flag flies, signaling the end of the road for Cam Reimers.
And as Cam Reimers isn't an engine issue.
His day is done, and though not mathematically eliminated from the championship, the air has been significantly let out of his sails. Cam's misfortune has benefited Cody Kleiman, handing him second in the points championship. However, a chippy race for second place causes Cody's left front tire to slowly drop pressure, forcing him to play strong defense. The battle behind him is all that Kyle can ask for, and he is easily gapping the field.
About 10 truck points. Just be nice and smooth for me. This is your race.
The motivated Sean Morris forces his way past Cody into second place, but the elder Kleiman is determined to hang on to the podium.
You got her. Stay with them. Stay with them, buddy. You're going to have to take third at least. Stay with them.
A hard charge by Andrew Carlson gives Cody a scare, but it is too little, too late.
There's no stopping the 42 Ponzi entry. Kyle Kleiman is going to do it again.
You are the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Woo!
Sean Morris secures the second spot with Cody, holding off Carlson for third. The consistency of the Kleiman team is what has set them apart all season. And if it were not clear already, Kyle is in a league of his own. Despite having the championship all but locked up, the rest of the Pro Light field can't expect Kyle to let up now. As the Pro 2 class is shaken out over the course of the year, the storylines have become increasingly layered and intense. Due to the steady evolution of the class, the key players have multiplied and the bar has been raised. The conditions are dangerous for those gunning for a title, as many drivers have something to prove other than a championship.
It's good to run with these top guys in the championship and run them clean, be respectful of that, but at the same time, we're going to get to the front as fast as we can and show everybody what we're made of.
Crandon was a mixed bag for the class adversaries. Sloppy conditions on the track due to weather resulted in difficult racing and very few passing opportunities. A hole shot for Andrew Carlson on the land rush start was enough to carry him to the victory, and after struggling for most of the race, Luke Johnson caught a huge break when Brad Lovell suffered a mechanical failure on the final lap while in second place. The misfortune for Lovell has given Luke some breathing room, but he knows that the moment he lets himself feel comfortable is when the championship could slip through his fingers.
You know, coming into this long weekend, there's a lot of opportunity for me to either lock the championship up early or completely screw it for myself. And Brad's still got a shot. I've seen crazier things happen, and they have this season. I'm not going to make it easy for him to try to close the gap.
We're not out of it yet, and the pressure's on him. And I know what that feels like, and it's distracting. It can get in your head. He's got to have some failures. It can happen, and we're going to be there to capitalize on every bit of it. You know, just like any other race weekend, we're out here to win races. The points from the first round are just as important as the points from the final round.
We have a 39-point lead in the championship. It's 25 points to win a race. So at this point, I just have to keep going along, and we could get to Saturday and lock the championship up as long as I take the green. But that's not how I want to go out this season. We fought so hard to get here. I want to go out with all wins.
The weekend is sure to be an all-out brawl. Aside from Luke, the rest of the hard-charging madmen in the Pro 2 field have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
As the Toyota Escondito Pace vehicle leads the final race of the day, the Pro 2-wheel drives. The series points leader with 3 wins on the season. He'll be back there trying to really separate himself because he had a lot of bad luck here in the spring race. Diving in is Hanegraaff, a clear leader, but also Peterson on the inside, number 2.
An aggressive start works in Luke Johnson's favor as he slots into second place behind leader Mark Peterson on the opening lap. A strong contingent of drivers is just in his rearview mirror, and every position he can put between himself and Brad Lovell is critical. Mikey Vandenheuvel is on a tear, weaving through the pack and moving quickly from 6th to 3rd. He is lightning quick on this track and puts heavy pressure on Luke.
When you see Johnson, he's going to go to this inside. Vanderbilt sets up really early, but the Jed Hot driver trying to hold on, but not this time. He just got pushed too wide.
Yeah, Mikey Vanderbilt with a great run, squared off on the outside, came over a little bit. Luke had to make a correction, but now let's see what happens on the inside and then leaving on the low side coming off. But Mikey Vanderbilt with a great pass over Luke Johnson.
Even the slightest misstep is enough to give Mikey the edge. Luke wisely doesn't let it get under his skin. He knows that he only needs to maintain position on level, but sticks tightly to the Flying Dutchman in hopes of regaining some breathing room. An early caution flag stacks the field up for a restart, but Luke is aided by recent nemesis Andrew Carlson in turn 1.
Luke Johnson back in 3rd, Brad Lovell 4th, Andrew Carlson's made up 8 spots. This is anyone's game.
That's good, he's still out there, stay in it. Float it out, clear. Great move, clear by 4.
The help is short-lived, however, as Carlson dives in on Luke in the following turn, over-rotating and collecting level in the process.
Easy, gather it up. You're still good. Dig.
Speed demon Mikey Vandenheuvel makes a quick move to the lead, leaving Mark Peterson in 2nd just in front of Johnson. With Lovell pushed back to 5th, Luke can momentarily shift his focus forward rather than on his mirrors. Luke is tempted by an opening and cuts underneath Peterson in the banked Talladega turn.
He looks at home in this one, and he is the series points leader as he dives underneath, making a little contact with Peterson, got him a little upset. Both of those guys, neither one wanted to let out the throttle.
The variation throughout the race as the track deteriorates is playing its usual part at ERX. Despite his strong start on the fresh track, Peterson begins to fade back in the challenging terrain, with Carlson also getting past just before the midway caution.
There you go, dig.
Everybody's fighting for every inch, and now we see Andrew Carlson fall on the same line as Luke on the high side. It looks like he's going to get by Peterson as well, so this race is far from over.
After some disappointment in the Pro Light race, Carlson is pushing for redemption in front of his hometown fans.
The track's really easy right now to overdrive, so we need to make sure that we drive it in smooth, keep it on the edge of the cushion, drive it out smooth.
The restart is the perfect opportunity for Andrew to challenge Luke, and with a cushion of 1 position on level, the risk of fighting back is high for Johnson.
Well, we've seen that Andrew Carlson really likes this first turn. He always shoots into the inside, and sure enough, he does.
Dig. He's still out there. He's still there.
There is a line between driving defensively and driving scared, and Luke definitely isn't backing down. He keeps his foot to the floor and drives hard to the next corner, pushing Carlson wide and maintaining 2nd place.
And I think it was smart by Johnson taking that outside line. He wasn't necessarily set up the best for it, but he knew that's the line he needed to take if he was going to keep the driver behind him.
As the tightly bunched field shifts and shuffles, Brad Lovell finds himself outside the top 5 for the first time all race.
And here we see Peterson get into, and spins around Brad Lovell. A tough move. It looked like Peterson wasn't intending on doing that, just came in and it got Brad right at the right place at the right time. Tough break for Brad Lovell.
Bad luck has followed Lovell around like a black cloud all year, and this time it may have ended his fight for the crown. Mikey Vanden Heuvel has run a flawless race. He drives hard in the lead, making a roaring statement of his ERX dominance regardless of his limited seat time this year. However, a late caution flag keeps him from running away with it. Luke is in the perfect spot to all but lock up the title if he can stay clean to the checkered flag. With no concern over any outcome other than a win, Andrew Carlson is putting spotter CJ Greaves' knowledge to good use, making adjustments and giving himself a chance to make some noise.
Remember the way Luke drove you the last time. He's going to be running in hard, so we got to make sure we run him clean so he has no reason to come in and take us out.
Don't count out the 151 Arturo tires of Andrew Carlson. You know he's going to dive underneath. He got a great run. He might even get Vanden Heuvel at this pace.
He's still out there. He's still out there. You're clear. You're clear.
Oh, and Johnson does the wrong thing at the wrong time, and will this cost him a ton of points?
Catastrophe strikes as yet another controversial incident occurs between Luke and Andrew. In the heat of the moment, it appears to be a case of hard racing gone wrong, but regardless of opinion, it spells disaster for Luke.
I don't think Andrew was trying to crash him, but it was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it was a big penalty on Luke Johnson.
With Luke sent all the way to the back, the remaining championship contenders are in position to make up significant ground. He runs wild and tries to catch back up, but the rough track and chaotic driving are too much for his truck to handle. A failure in the underdrive of his transmission forces him to pull off the track, a worst-case scenario to open the weekend. Meanwhile, Carlson's hard charge has reeled in race leader Vanden Heuvel.
That was really good. Come on, Bart. Push it.
We're starting to see a charge by Andrew Carlson here with only a couple of more turns left.
Mikey is not ready to give up his lead, and he throws caution to the wind, flying through the split lane and shredding the sandy dirt.
Look at Vanden Heuvel. I don't know if it's going to have enough time. Vanden Heuvel gets upset.
Get a run on the exit here. Go to the bottom. Go to the bottom.
And the Kenda Tire 77 is going to drive by and take the checkered flag for the second time. My heart is pounding.
Hey, way to push to the end. Way to push to the end. It was a good run.
The victory for Mikey is validation that his previous round 3 win was no fluke. He has proven his speed and shown that he deserves to have a full-time ride in the Pro 2 class. With Eric Ruppel taking the final spot on the podium and Brad Lovell in 4th, both championship hopefuls can rest easy knowing that their chances are still alive one more day. Luke's disappointment is obvious. A DNF is the last thing he could have asked for. He must let the burn of failure dissipate quickly because there is no time to dwell on the frustrations of the past. With 2 more days of racing ahead of him, claiming the championship is not guaranteed. A total focus is required to accomplish his goal, and it is no easy task with the rest of the Pro 2 field hoping to find glory of their own. Across all forms of competition, there is great value in the ability to finish what has been started. If history tells us one thing, it's that no one remembers second place. Being the fastest and strongest team all season means nothing if it all falls apart in the end. For these dirt-slaying wildmen, the only satisfying conclusion will exist for the one who wears the crown. Next time on Young Guns. A year's worth of drama and contention is coming to a close. Many battles have been decided, and for a select few, the war will be won in 2017. Pro 2 points leader Luke Johnson must rebound from a catastrophic opening race to ensure he stays in front. But with the weight of expectation on his shoulders, the road will not be easy. The Pro Light Championship has been all but decided, and Kyle Kleiman is ready for the sweet taste of a dream achieved. He has shown the off-road world what he is made of all season and is ready for the next step. The wild pack of Pro 4 monsters will be let loose once again, with rookie Keegan Kincaid on the outside looking in at the Greaves duo as they scrape and claw for every last point. Their story will not end here, but yet another chapter will be written in the tumultuous history of TORC off-road racing. Glory will be achieved by those who seize their opportunity and never let go. This is Young Guns. Brought to you by AMSOIL.